All right, we are here for the Coast to Coast tournament. It's Monday. It's Monday's practice round. That's what we're going to call it because that's what it is. So my goal here, my hope is that I can get all 9 holes in. You can only do 4 gigs of video if you're shooting straight up. So that's about 56 minutes. So we'll see if we can get it done in 56 minutes. So let's go check out hole number 1. Hole number 1. Here, hold on one second. All right. Okay, so what are we on here? Hole number 1 of the tournament is going to be Juniper Point. Hole number 2. All right, so what I'm trying to do, and I worked this shot out the other day. I did it with a Saturn, a Grim Reaper, and a Grizzly. We're going to see if we can get it to go again. But what I was doing, coming in, I put on 3 backspin, 1, and let's say a quarter. I mean, it was a sliver of right side spin. I did plus 10% on my wind adjustment. And it set me up with a Grizzly. It was about 3 rings. So let's say 3 miles an hour off of the sand. So when I came out here with my Grim Reaper, which is instead of 1 per ring, it's 1.8. With my Saturn, it's 1.9. It put me about a ring and a half off of this sand right here, going right at it, trying to stay on the lower line. I did, like, here's the cup, here's the flagpole. I was set up on the right hand edge of the cup. So let's see if we can get this going. I did this shot. I was playing my teammate Dunner the other day, and I think I hit 4 in a row on it with 3 different clubs. So it is possible to get it from down there. So let's see, but what I can't remember is what ball I was using. So I'm not sure about the ball. I'm going to start off with a Navigator and we'll see. We're going to take our time here. We're not in any big hurry here. So if I time out or something goes wrong, it's not a big deal. It's practice day. That's the thing about practice day is, especially if you haven't done a day like this where you're practicing, and I've heard the comment from my teammates many times, is like, missing a putt. It's really hard. You go, oh my gosh, I should have missed that putt. I'm practicing today. It's practice. I'm not going to qualify this account today. If I hit Eagle, Albie, I might rethink that, but I'm not going to get, it's not that you can't get an Albie on hole number 3, but hole number 3 does not lend itself to getting an Albie. It doesn't lend itself to getting an Eagle. I saw some wind stuff earlier from a teammate that posted some stuff on hole number 3, and the winds looked like they were a little low today. You need the bigger the wind, the better. So if you're bringing a power 5 ball on hole number 3, you want to try and bring a 0 wind ball. The thing about hitting anywhere to the right is it will roll down towards the cup, and it typically will get caught up in this bowl right here, and you'll be really close. So if you're in one-on-one, hitting it somewhere over to the right and letting it come down the hill is not a bad deal. So let's put some movement on the ball. So 1 sliver. All right. Okay, 10% would be 3.7. Of course, we've got the wind to contend with here, or the sand. There's 3.7. Isn't it perfect? See if we can get it in the cup. That was a bit outside. The wind pushed me over just a little. I'm working that shot. I'm going to take that shot this week. The one thing I don't like about right there is I don't like the fact that the way the wind's blowing, if I'll have to adjust over that sand. So even though I really like that shot and I've been working on that shot this week, I may rethink that just because of the way that the wind's blowing. So anytime you have to adjust over sand like that, you can see the distortion in the rings. We'll keep working on that one. We'll keep working on that. Let me turn my grid on. All right, let's go check out hole number 2. So what are we on? Hole number 2. And I'm dinking around on this hole. I haven't wrote down what I'm gonna use on hole number 2 yet. So it's Juniper Point, hole number 6. The truth of the matter is, if you can come out here even with a marlin ball and lay yourself up right into this area right here, just by hitting it straight through and just terminating right here in front of the sand, you've got a minimum short iron to the cup. So bringing a low wind ball is not a bad deal. I'm still working on the deal of trying to get my ball to feed up like this so that it comes to the cup. I'm trying to see if there's an easy way to do that that's safe. I'm going to try a big topper and see with all the top spin. And if I'm going to bring a katana. Yeah, I may bring a Kingmaker, but I'm gonna see, like, and that's because the big topper, the raw distance, the closer you can get up here to the trees, the better. But I'm gonna see what it looks like. So I'm still kind of working on this hole. I know the shot that if you hit out here, I've never done any elevation on this from this area and been very successful on this hole. But if you can get closer so that you're in your wedge range, so you're just chipping it up there, I mean, that's obviously better. But you do have a very good minimum short iron shot from right here. It's super easy to get through there. Bring a 100% accurate club. No fuss, no muss. The only deal is you got to hit it perfect. But I'm still working to see if I can get around that corner. Consistently get around that corner. I mean, obviously, I've been around that corner. If you've played this hole, you can get around that corner. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. Switch some clubs here. How many Kingmakers do I have? I'm gonna bring a Kingmaker. Let's bring out a Kingmaker. Let's bring out a Lucky Ball. See if we can get lucky. Feeling lucky, punk. And what are my other choices? Whatever. Let me make sure. Let's switch this up for a rock. QB will work fine. Rock just gives you a little bit more rod distance. I want to keep that Grim Reaper in one bag. There's one of the par 3s here. I want to hit it with either a Saturn or a Grim Reaper. If you have a Grim Reaper 6, you can use it. Otherwise, the Saturn will work fine. Can't remember which one of the par 3s it is. It's one of them. Today's all about just going out there and putting a little bit of time out in the course, checking out some of the stuff, seeing what clubs and what ball combo we want to use. It's practice, so I'm not worried about getting in the hole. I'm just worried about trying to get a little bit of time and grade here. You can see where it is on the sand there, so you'll have to use some curl in order to get around that band. I'm going to start off right in the center of that fairway, and then I'll put a little bit of curl on it. So it's 2-1, which is a ring. Put some curl on it. And hit it one ring great to the left. So if I wanted to get it farther up in there, I'd have to put some overpower on it. If I'm going to use a big topper, I'll chip it over to the spot so you can see what that shot looks like. Just trying to go at it without doing anything special to start off with. I know I hit through there a couple times. I caught this hole. We caught this hole in practice, trying to hit it through there and trying to do it just with side spin, and ended up in the sand. Wasn't able to kind of work my way around. I'm trying to not have to do any overpower going through that gap. So your idea is to you'd get somewhere out right in this area right here. Getting as close to that sand as you can. I really like the shot from out there. I mean, it doesn't take much to get out into that area, and it gives you a great shot every time. And that's the thing about these par fours, is the consistency of, yes, if you could get yourself out up in here every time, you have a much better shot. But the key part of that sentence was getting yourself up into that spot every time. So I'm in my Hornet, and I'm right at minimum club. It's 2 per ring at minimum club. So it's a ring and a quarter. There's a ring and a half. There's a ring and a quarter. See if we can hit it perfect. Oh, anticipation. Anticipation. But that's the shot that you get right there with minimum club. You hit it perfect and it goes in the hole. I'm dinking around with the look at it, but I'm pretty sure if I haven't learned any lesson, one of the lessons is that on these par fours, there's a lot of these par fours that we can do some shots that will get us up there. There is some risk involved in them, but there's always that shot that you can do like that where you hit it straight forward. You're in that spot. You got a minimum short iron, and percentage wise, that is over the long haul the much better way to go at it, because you're going to end up in that spot almost every time. And that means you're going to have that shot going into the cup every time. And you hit it perfect, and it's in the hole. So let me make a note here. I'm going to use a rock. Like I said, a rock or a cubie, it's not going to make that big of a difference. I'm going to use a Kingmaker just because I want to be as deep into my short iron as possible. I'm going to bring a Hornet, or whichever short iron you're the most comfortable with, and it's going to be at min club. So I'm going to write all my numbers down. It hits 1 per ring, 1.75 per ring, and 2 per ring if it's at minimum club, and I'm going to circle the minimum. That's the goal. And the only thing I don't know there, if I use the rock, is how much topspin to put on, or if I can put on all the topspin to get up there. So that'll be something I'll have to practice. All right, hole number 3. Let's check out hole number 3. Hole number 3, City Park. Hole number 3. I have a very limited amount of Power 5 balls in this account. So I'm going to do the shot with a Titan. And so there are several different ways that you can go with this. You can lay it up out here in front. And in my experience, when you lay it up out here in front, depending on where you're at, you may have a little bit of difficulty, unless you bring a really big club, of getting in front of this, and it slopes down really hard here. So you really kind of want to get out into this area about that far in front of it in order to be in a fairly flat area where you can really kind of guide your ball. If you can get anywhere, let me zoom in on that a little. If you can get anywhere on your second shot where you're flush with the top of this, you're in your short iron range. So if you can get farther forward than that, then you're deeper into your short iron. If you're back here, you're going to be right there, long iron, transitional. But you really want to start your shot off somewhere in front of this because it rolls downhill so much right here. And so in order to get where you can take your shot from here to try and push it up into that gap, when you talk about landing area on your drive, if you're up here at the top, it can be very difficult unless you bring a really big wood, so like a big dog, which kind of hurts you because you don't have the ball guide to really kind of help you get into this narrow area. Guardian, but it doesn't give you a lot of top spin. Guardian's good because it gives you raw distance, but it doesn't help you much after that because it doesn't have top spin. Sniper is always good because it has ball guide and has top spin, but it doesn't have raw distance. I found that if you hit out here into the rough, especially if you have an Iran in your bag, it's super easy to get up into this area and to get up here. That I actually liked the shot better, my second shot better from the rough, and I at least gave myself an opportunity to get up here, even though it might not have been a really good opportunity. If you have a power 5 ball, you're trying to do your first bounce here and you're trying to get up into this area. If you can get into this area right here, you definitely want to bring a big dog. You want to have your secondary club as a big dog. So I think a big dog's probably a great option, or a Cataclysm. I usually, when I come to this hole, try and hit into the rough, because there's the off chance that I might be able to make it, even if I have a power 3 ball, that I might be able to make it over there. But I find that I like the shot from the rough better than the shot from the top of the hill as far as distance-wise trying to get past this. So let's see what that looks like. I'm just going to go out there and hit the straightforward shot with a extra mile and a Titan. The king of balls. Now, one of the questions, my teammates had a question about using a big topper on this, and let me tell you why I don't think that the big topper will work as well, is because your red line with your extra mile is going to be like, I'll just pick a spot. Let's say it's up in this area right here, and your red line with your big toppers here. So if this was all fairway right here, you'll net more distance with your big topper than you would with your extra mile. Even though the extra mile hits farther forward as far as raw power, it doesn't have as much top spin. So if this was all fairway, if the fairway extended all the way out, yes, you would net more distance with your big topper. What I think might happen, though, if you use a big topper on this shot, is that you're hitting further back in the rough, and even though you have more top spin, I don't think you have enough top spin to get you out. I think in this particular case, because we're trying to do a rough bump, that you're going to get deeper into the rough with your extra mile, and you have a better chance of it bleeding out than if you hit way back here, even though you started off with more top spin. So I don't think the big topper is really going to net you more distance there or give you a better opportunity to get out. I could be wrong, but if you think about how the clubs work, it doesn't. I don't think a big topper is going to work, but it might. But I don't think it will. I'm on the fence. Now let's look at my secondary clubs. What do I got here? If I'm hitting out into the rough, the wood's not coming into play. So if you've taken the shot from the top of the hill, you know what that shot on the top of the hill looks like. So what we'll do is I'll show you what the shot from the rough looks like, and you can tell me which one was easier, the one you did from the top of the hill or the one I'm doing from the rough. The key here is you want to bring out the biggest. You want to make sure you have your longest hitting rough iron in your bag. So if you have an Amazon's not a bad club to bring. It doesn't get very much ball guide, but it does hit a long ways. And it has lots of backspin. So if you can get over to the other side of that fairway bunker, it could you can make the ball stop really quick. And my opponent, from where they're at with as much distance as they left on the table, that's a difficult place to be. I'm going to leave the wind in. Hit it 2 rings great to the left. And so I'm about halfway through the rough with a 3 power ball. And we'll see who has the better second shot. So you can see where my opponent's at with their sniper, and it is super sucky to be on that side of that, because you do. I would recommend that you do not look at the hill right there. I would recommend that you do not hit on that side. It would be better to just go down there and lay up. And they got an extremely nice shot. Nice shot. Because that puts them in the short iron range. So they're in the spot. You can tell that there is a ton of things that could have went wrong with that. Whereas where I'm at, if you've got a Nirvana, you can get into that same spot and you don't have to do any hero moves. I'm going to take the wind out. It's 2, 4. So we get a little squared up with it. It's about 2 per ring, so it's about 2 1/4 rings. Isn't it perfect? So I'm about the same spot my opponent's in. But as far as difficulty-wise, I would rather do my shot 100 times than theirs. Because there's a lot of stuff that could have went wrong with that sniper shot. And even if you'd had a big dog in that situation from that distance, and they have a Marlin, so I mean, that didn't help them. See if they can get that in there. Hitting it perfect. And I want to go straight at the cup. I want to try. I always like to try on these holes not to use that backboard, if it's possible. I'm a bigger fan of just going to the hole. Where am I at in my club? There's max. So I'm right at max. It's 1 per ring. I'm not going to do any elevation stuff here. It's 3/8. Trying to hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. So the way that it went, the way that the wind's blowing, I over pulled it. And if you look at where it was at and how close I could get to my ring set right there, we were definitely not downhill. So, and it is uphill from where we were hitting up to it. So theoretically, the way that it should work is if we're hitting downhill, we're supposed to add on wind for elevation. And if it's uphill, we should be taking wind off. So, and based off of where it ended up right there, I did an over pull on it. So I should have been taking some wind off. And I'm not sure as far off as I missed it there, whether if you took off 10%, that looked like it was quite a ways off. And what I didn't like about that shot is I had to set it up so that my first bounce was on the fringe. And sometimes when you're on one surface and you're bouncing onto the green, you can get an irregular bounce. but it definitely looked like we needed to do some kind of wind adjustment there, elevation adjustment, and it looked like we needed to actually take some wind off. All right, hole number 4. Hole number 4, City Park. City Park, number 5. When I do my 77 practice account today, I will shoot that hole and I'll do the max overpower hook shot. So you can see what the max overpower hook shot looks like on hole number 3. You can get a little bit farther down there, and there is a slim chance that you could get over to that fairway, but you'll be a little bit closer than where I was at. All right, this hole right here. Now, here's my problem that I've been having on this hole the last few tournaments is it's getting out here is not an issue. My problem is that I've been in between. So here's max, here's minimum, here's mid. I've been right in this area right here. And I would either rather be right here or right here. And getting to right here is a little bit difficult. And I've been using a Kingmaker. And so it's been putting me right in between here. And I could possibly get into this range if I hit it way far forward. But your drive coming into the cup is a little bit diminished because you've got a smaller area and you'll probably need a little bit more backspin. So I'm going to switch this and I'm going to use a Katana, which will give me less power and maybe it'll put me more towards my max club. I'm going to try it because I've been using a Kingmaker like the last 3 or 4 times that this has been in a tournament. This has been in a bunch of tournaments. So like the last 3 times that this was in a tournament, I used a Kingmaker, but I'm going to switch to a Katana and see if that helps me. I like this hole. It's very eagleable. But I've been finding myself in a spot where I had to do an odd wind adjustment. So the last time we were on this hole, I worked it out so that it worked out to be about a 1.3 per ring. What am I doing here? Switching the long iron to a Grizzly. All right. I'm gonna bring a Katana. We'll try it out. We'll try out a cat. See how a cat works. See if we can get into the spot. See which way the wind's blowing. All right. Hold on one second. All right. I had to talk to a man about a horse. And I wasn't getting matched up, so I figured, what the heck? That was as good a time as any. All right, here we go. It's got a rock. And I got, on my notes, I've got rock, cat, or Kingmaker. We'll see. I like to be out here on the flat. I only want to use a little bit of topspin. 3.3, 100% accurate club, 3.3. And I'm going to lean a little bit to the right. I'm going to lean up against the nubs. Hit it 1 ring great to the right. And that's a little bit farther than I normally would hit it. But that's not a bad spot. I've still left the mouth of the fairway so that I can get the full run. I'm trying not to do what I did on the last hole where I have to have my first bounce on the fringe. I'm trying to have it where the first bounce is on the green, the second bounce is on the green, and every bounce is on the green. It seemed to me like we were doing a wind adjustment here in the past, like an elevation adjustment. But today I'm not worried about elevation adjustments. Today it's all about what ball and what club and where am I at in that ball, or where am I at in that club with that ball. And I can go back and watch these videos and I can, on any of those shots that I hit perfect, I can take a look at it and see if I need to do a wind adjustment. I don't like to do elevation adjustments until I know that I need to do them. Okay, so there's max. Wow. And there's min. So there's mid. So once again, I'm still in that same zone. So I'm kind of in between club or in between spots. I'm going to do 1-4 per ring. Yeah, let's do 1-5. That'd be about 2. Just going to do a 2-ring pull. I'm not going to do anything special. Let's see where we're at. Oh. Oh. I think the one, so the way I normally do it, like my max number is 1 and my mid number is 1.75. So half of 7.5 is 3 3/4. So that'd be about 1.4 per ring. It's kind of how I work it when I'm in that middle area. But I'll have to adjust that. So I did a 1-5 right there, and I hit a 1-ring great to the left, and it was just off to the left. I think if I'd have did, I mean, obviously if you do a full pull, it's one of those things where we're at right there. We're just in between. I think from where I was, if I had a kingmaker though, it would have pushed the mid. I would have been closer to mid than where I was. It's difficult. I know with the drive, I did about 2.5 topspin. And max right side spin. Very close. This is why we practice today. This is why if you've got 2 accounts, you got your regular account and a practice account, today is a great day to go out there. Go out there with your practice account and shoot around and see what happens, and then go out there with your main account and test what you think you learned from your practice round. That way, going into the qualifying rounds for tomorrow, you've at least got an idea, got a pretty solid idea of what's going on, and you can really at that point start working on elevation. So typically the way I like to do it is 2 practice accounts on Monday. I'll go qualify my main account tomorrow, and then I'll play my practice account, and then I'll qualify my practice account on Wednesday. The last tournament I decided to change it up, and I practiced in my main, and then I went out around hole 5, and I qualified my main account on Wednesday, and that's not good. All right, we're on hole number 5. Hole number 5, City Park hole number 1. City Park hole number 1. Is that right? All right, this is the hole right here. I haven't decided how I'm going to play this hole. I know I caught this hole in practice, and every time I had a grizzly, and I don't normally, I like to play this with a little bit of backspin. And I normally like to play, you can see the ridge, it's right here. And then it drops down into this hollow. And this hill comes down, and there's a little valley that runs down through here. And so it kind of rolls off. There's a flat area. This is kind of flat. And normally I'm like riding this ridge right here coming at it with Saturn. You can start off down here low, and you can come and clip this and then bring it around to it. But I haven't decided how I'm going to play it. That's the thing about these par 3s that I really like about par 3s, is that there's a bunch of different ways that you can play it. And depending on the clubs that you have in your bag, you have to find a spot that works for your clubs. I definitely want to switch this up. I'm going to take a Grim Reaper in one bag, and that hits 1.8 per ring. I'm going to bring a Saturn. Let's compare the Saturn to the Grim Reaper. So distance-wise, pretty close. Accuracy-wise, pretty close. Ball guide, Saturn's a little bit better. And the backspin, that little bit of extra backspin that you get in the Grim Reaper is not going to make a difference. I'm going to hit my Saturn just because I'm super comfortable with my Saturn. I'm not sure that side spin or any of that's going to really be a factor. I'm gonna start off with a nav. We'll see what kind of where we're at. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on this hole just to remind myself. It's been a long time since I played these city. Is this a city park hole? These city park holes, and this par 3 right here has never really been one of my favorite par 3s. But I do know that I like to hit on something flat. And the problem is there's not a lot of flat places here. They didn't adjust out the wind. And I found I was doing the Grizzly. I tried that from that spot right there, and I seemed like I was the ball guide wasn't, and in our practice sessions we were getting a lot of headwind, so it's hard to tell exactly what's going on when you have lots of headwind. I'm just going to kind of go straight at it and see what happens. It's 1.9 per ring. So that leaves me 1.5. So that's about 3/4 of a ring. It looks like we're a little... Couldn't get any closer. Oh, Jesus. One of these days I'll be able to hit a perfect. Hey, Seuss. I'm definitely going to bring a Saturn to that hole. These, I don't know. This is not, to me, this is not a high percentage par 3. And I've got hole-in-ones on this hole before, but this isn't a hole that I go, yeah, got a serious chance here. I mean, we want to give ourselves a shot, but I'm going to have to work a little bit on that hole. I'm going to spend a little bit of time. I'm going to make that hole is going to be one of my focus holes this week. I'm going to see what I can do to increase my odds on that hole and get my teammates involved and see what they're doing. All right, that was hole number 5. How much time we got on this video? Got some time. Hole number 5. Hole number 6. Now I have no notes from this point forward, so I'm going to have to start making some notes. Hole number 6. Hole number 6 is Juniper Point. Hole number 5. My notes here say what my original notes. Big Tapa, Kingmaker. And my goal, okay, there's 2 ways you can go with this. You can go to the island. Gives you a wood shot coming in. Use a 100% accurate club, QB or rock. Start off in this area right here. You can do this with a Marlin. It doesn't take a big ball. You can come up there. If you use a bigger ball, it's just going to help cut the wind. Or if you, what you could use here is you could use a 0 power low wind ball. It's not too difficult to get up here, especially if you use a 100% accurate club. I'm going to try the big topper shot where you're here and you're coming over, trying to get as much distance as you can, trying to get in my long iron range. And in that case, I want to bring a bigger ball. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to use a Titan just so I can see what kind of distances we're getting. You can shoot this shot over with a Big Tapa just in case I'm in my wood range, because you could end up, depending on where you get out there, you could end up in your, ideally you're trying to get into your long iron, but you could be in minimum wood. So if you hit the shot forward, it's important to know your numbers for your woods. So here, Big Tapa. If I am in minimum sniper, I'm going to do it at 1.5 per ring. Tighten. And roll. I know that the sand that's up there by the green is a freaking magnet. And if you start hitting shots coming into the cup, great to the right, you are taking a big risk of getting up in that sand. Okay, the wind's blowing in this direction, so the wind's going to push me forward right to there. I don't have to do any overpower. I don't have to do anything special. I'm just going to let the wind do the work for me. Hitting it perfect. And I was rubbing up against the nubs down there on the bottom and just putting a little teeny bit of power on it, but not anything special, and just trying to get myself up there into my long iron range. Nice and easy. But you can see from the angle right there, that rough kicking out where the sand's at is like right on my path. So I may have to start over to the left and then bring my ball back to the right. And a 2 side spin ball might not be enough. So having a 3 side spin ball here, like a Kingmaker. And you could use a katana, but I think if you use a katana that you're pretty much relegating yourself to be into your wood, into your minimum wood. Because I think I might still be in my minimum wood from where I'm at right now. That's why you can bring a Guardian here instead of the Sniper, and you can try and backspin it right up there. I've hit several Albies here, backspinning it with my Guardian. You can see right where I'm at, like writing that line to it. So, like there's Max. We're right at it. We got plenty of maneuver. It's 2.7. Do 2.7. 2.7 rings. Try and hit it perfect. Maybe I can hit one shot perfect today. Yeah, wow. Wow! I hit one perfect. In the hole! Well, that's one way to go at it. That's one way. If I use a Sniper, it's going to be at minimum club or grizzly. At 1. All right, so that's how to get the Albie on that hole. And that hole is not the easiest hole out there to get an Albie. I do like coming at it from, when we talk about that hole, here's the thing about coming at it from the other side. When you're coming at it from, hey, you gonna mess with me here? It doesn't accurately represent what in these 2D pictures that Playdough puts out is like, here's the green, there's a flat area up here, and then it rolls up the hill. So when you're coming at it from this angle right here, you got to go up that hill, and you're coming at it at an angle. So that means that it's going to want to roll. And so I find sometimes when you're coming at it from this angle right here, I really don't think it lends itself. It's an easy shot, but I don't think it's the easiest shot to get into the cup, just because at the very end of the roll, when you're trying to control your speed and the ball is going at slowest, it's getting affected by that side hill. Whereas when you come at it from here, you can avoid that side hill and get a bounce that's here, and then you can try and bring it towards the cup. And that's primarily why I try and hit out into this fairway as opposed to here. In one-on-one play, I always hit to the island, because it's super easy to go from the island to get up and make sure you get your eagle and go to a shootout and force your opponent to do the same thing. Whereas when you're out here, it's harder to get out here unless you bring out a bigger ball in one-on-one. It's just the difference between playing the one-on-one and what we would do in a tournament. All right, what hole are we on here? We're on hole number 7. Hole number 7. How much time we got on this? I'll tell you what, I'm going to stop this one so that we can do the last 3 holes. We won't have any pressure for time because we got 10 minutes. And then I'll just post 2 videos, one with holes 1 through 6, and then we'll do holes 7, 8, and 9. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.